Hey everyone, Scott Cunningham, aka Scott's Biz. Today we're going to be talking about DLive, which is supposed to be the go-to live streaming blockchain platform. PewDiePie endorsed this heavily and got so much awareness for blockchain social platforms, and we thank him. And it really, really helps in showing people where blockchain is headed, and how it's going to support the creators and the creators are going to go to it. Really, unfortunately, he chose the wrong platform. I don't blame PewDiePie because I don't expect that he would have expert knowledge on blockchain. It's just really unfortunate that we have such a huge influencer who's misinformed and doesn't realize what he's espousing, and then people think that DLive is the place that they should be going when really it's not. And I don't want it to affect people's trust in his reputation regarding blockchain, because then if he goes on Minds, it says, guys, Minds is the best blockchain platform, people are going to be like, you said that last time and it wasn't even a real blockchain platform. So I really hope that's not the case. I hope that what I can do here is help explain why DLive isn't what you thought it was, and still have the support for blockchain platforms moving forward. And before I really start to cut up DLive, they could become everything that they're supposed to be. They could. It's still possible. It's not impossible. The problem is it doesn't fall to DLive to do this. So putting our faith in DLive is very foolish, because it actually falls to the blockchain that they're using, which is Lino. And I mean, they could technically move off of the blockchain. They originally were on Steam, and they left largely because DTube was a much better platform than theirs was, and they were doing live streaming and regular video hosting, and the majority of people were just going to DTube. But now that they've moved off of Steam, they have a different blockchain. They're one of the only apps on it. It's very independent. Great. But Lino didn't live up to what they thought it would. It's been years. Their last FAQ was posted in April of last year, and it says they have no they have no projected date as to when the testnet will actually be launched. It's not going to be tradable. They're not doing an ICO. It's just very, very sketchy, because the testnet is not up. There is no blockchain. It doesn't even say beta. There is no blockchain, right? Lino is not what people thought it was. So let's actually take a look at this, and I'll start to really dive into what's actually going on here. I do want to try to keep this under 10 minutes so that I can get this on all of my platforms, but if this goes over, then that's fine. I think it's more important to really go through all these issues. So this is DLive. You know, it looks cool. It's great. The issue with DLive is it really just it mimics Twitch. They do have improvements. I'll give them that. Let me just bring up what I wrote down were the improvements. This is better to use than Twitch. I'll say that, because you have better potential to earn, and a lot more potential to start to get popular and gain, you know, followers, and just gain a lot more influence because it's so new. But let's see, where did I write these? Okay, yes. So unlike Twitch, they don't have platform cuts, so they're not going to take a cut of your earnings, which is really, really attractive for the platform to have. They have better reward incentives, like you don't have to watch ads to earn points. You can just watch streamers and then donate to them, which is really, really good. And the last point that they say that makes them better is that they're going to have decentralized ownership, but that's more of a claim. These claims are more for the Lino network. And given it's not running, I don't see how we'll have any decentralized ownership, because we also know that DLive is not very decentralized. They banned and removed Alex Jones based on ideology, not based on, breaking the law or anything like that. So we already know that DLive isn't censorship resistant. They're really pro-censorship. And that kind of goes against what the Lino network even is. So it's weird that you can have a third-party application on the Lino network which doesn't utilize one of the main 3 components that they say that it has. And it's likely because the testnet isn't even up and running. There is no Lino blockchain. It's a mimicked blockchain. Twitch could do exactly this without having to do anything with the blockchain, because this isn't using the blockchain. And, the site is great design, great setup. They've created a very nice Twitch alternative. But don't come here thinking that it actually solves all the issues, because it doesn't. And it's not a real blockchain platform. Some people don't actually care whether it's blockchain platform. They just want a new place to potentially, get a following. And because it's so new, it's a lot easier to start from scratch and build your way up than it is on like YouTube or Twitch. And it's always that way with new platforms, where it's much easier to break through and start to get a following. And then as the platform scales, you get to scale with the platform because you're a popular creator. So for example, in the last 24 hours, these are creators on the rise. So if this flow driver girl, assuming she identifies as a girl, if she keeps up what she's doing and she stays on the top, as this platform scales, she will scale with it and she'll do really well. And that's all good. But, they could ban you, they could censor you if you start to go off of what they want you to be talking about or what they don't want people to be talking about on their platform. Your stuff is not so protected, say they're with GoDaddy and GoDaddy does something or whatever it might be. They might have the same issues that Gab faced. Whatever it might be, it'll either be DLive censoring you because they have, or someone else getting DLive to censor you and they're complying or not complying and then having issues getting shut down, different things like that. I'm sure they could probably get through it the same way that Gab did, but they don't really seem to have any intent on upholding free speech or being censorship resistant. And again, they've been espousing that this is like a blockchain live streaming platform. It really isn't. They even have an app. Like, they're doing a really good job of, creating a great feature set, getting the people everything that they need. But I'd say the majority of people on here don't know much about blockchain, and they don't realize that this isn't really a blockchain platform. Okay, instead of me saying this a million times, let's actually show you what we're talking about here. So when we look at the Lino testnet, this looks like a blockchain platform. It mimics a proof of stake platform where you stake your crypto, and that gives you, different features. And, for example, with this platform, you have to stake, I believe, 2,000 Lino or something along those lines. And you have to have 200 subscribers, I believe, and then you can get verified. So it's much easier to get verified on here, but they're ensuring that to do so, you have to buy a bunch of their points now. And that's really smart, since the points aren't real crypto. And, if you say something happens and they start to pull out, or they don't ever actually launch the blockchain or anything, you can't just take your coins and go sell them on an exchange and be like, whatever, I'm out. You have to still do it through them. And because they're not a real blockchain, you can't just like go off platform. It's all through them. If they shut this down tomorrow, you would lose everything. And it's crazy how that works. I mean, to be fair, it is that way with a lot of platforms, but a lot of platforms give you the ability to work outside of the platform and protect yourself. So Even Mines, which uses a utility token, allows you to take that token off of the platform and store it in, a wallet, and like an Ether wallet. So I store all of my Mines tokens that are on chain in my MetaMask wallet. And that's great, because if for some reason, I got banned, I still have the tokens. I mean, unfortunately, they're only sold on an unlisted exchange, Fork Delta. Well, like, it's not unlisted, but Mines is in an unlisted URL, so you have to have the actual direct link to get to it. And people get confused and they go to the Mind token and they buy Mind token when it's Mines with an S. And, that's a whole problem on its own, but they at least have that option. When we're looking at something like Steam, well, it's completely built on the blockchain, and there is no way that they could just shut it down. And you can store your Steam wherever you want, as well as PublishOX. Every Monday you can withdraw all your tokens, put them in a wallet, do whatever you want to do, sell them right away, no problems. With this, you rely completely on them because there is no blockchain. It's just this. It looks like a blockchain that uses proof of stake, but it isn't. And they've said on their FAQ there's no intention whatsoever to change anything. They don't have a time or a date or any projections whatsoever. So, and they don't plan on allowing you to sell it or trade it or do anything outside their platform. They've completely centralized so much. And the Lino network said that they're trying, in their tiny blockchain overview, because they don't have a real white paper, just an overview, which doesn't even use the word blockchain aside from the title. It's pretty weird that people kind of fell for this. I realized really quickly, just by briefly looking through the website and realizing that I couldn't, I couldn't get my tokens back. Also, that's another thing. The minimum withdrawal amount is 4,250 Lino points. And I'm pretty sure that is somewhat significant, because I believe to get this, I spent around like $20 or something like that. So yeah, it's close to like $40 or $50, something like that. I mean, it might have changed in value. I'm not even going to bother because I'm not going to use this. But the point is, they also have these minimum values so that even if you do buy, lock in, unlock, and then realize you still can't take it out, they're trying to just discourage you from doing that. So here's what happens. They have 1 million users come on. They all spend $20. They all lock in 2,000 points. Now they've got $20 million. That's pretty significant. I mean, obviously that's not the case, but this is just hypothetical. Now they have $20 million. Okay. I mean, also, because this isn't on an exchange, Lino points will never change in value unless they just decide arbitrarily that it's going to go up or down. So you never even know if you should have more, like if you should be selling them or if you should just keep them. You never know, because one day they might just half the price and you've lost half of the value of your tokens. They might just double it. Who knows? They control everything. It's not going to be publicly traded. It's really insane when you start to dive into this, how centralized this is. They control everything. Everything. And it's one of the most centralized blockchain platforms I've ever seen. And no one even knows. No one's aware. No one's talking about this either. It's crazy. That's why I have to make this video and put out this blog. And I bet most people on DLive aren't even going to see it. And it's a tragedy. Yeah. Well, at least they used to have PayPal, right? Which was the only way you could get your money, which was even more dangerous, because then an easy way for them to get shut down. Now they just have direct bank account, or they give you Bitcoin. At least they've finally adopted giving out crypto. At least they finally did that. But again, you still need $40 to $50 worth to even be able to withdraw. And yeah, I just don't see this as a very realistic model. It's just not realistic because it's a sham for what people thought it was coming in. It doesn't represent almost any of the values that it espoused. The only real things that you get are you do get the better rewards and no platform cuts. So yes, it is better than Twitch, but this is not a blockchain live streaming platform. There's no blockchain. There are no blockchain live streaming platforms currently that I'm even aware of. I remember a while ago, DTube talked about it, but I've never seen it. So again, I'm not totally sure. If you guys know any good live streaming actual blockchain platforms, let me know. I didn't think it would actually be viable because it seemed like there would be too much of a latency if it was actually going to be on the blockchain. You might have a platform like Minds, which is just blockchain integrated slightly, and then it'll use live streaming because they do have video gatherings, and they're going to introduce that for individual channels. Right now it's just for groups, which is essentially going to be live streaming. But you know, we'll see. Again, if you know any good live streaming platforms that actually utilize the blockchain, please comment below so that people know, and I'll check it out. But yeah, so as you can see, the Lino network, it really does not have any of the stuff that they've claimed. Just to give you a bit more proof, I mean, I'll have all the links and everything for you to check yourself, but for sake of being fully comprehensive with this, even though I don't want to go over 10 minutes, probably already have. So has it been launched? Nope, it's in testing. Hardly. When will it be launched? No time frame. It's also not in testing because, like it says beta, but they're not testing it, at least not that I'm aware of, because no one's using it, and I don't know. Anyways, what's the relationship that DLive has with Lino? So this is kind of important. There is no direct relationship. DLive is a third-party application that has adopted the use of the testnet version of the Lino blockchain. Again, clearly, if they are using the testnet, then the testnet isn't a real testnet because it's not actually utilizing any blockchain technology that I'm aware of, right? And that we can see. But, you know, as we can see, according to this, DLive is just a third-party application. So though it is kind of annoying that DLive doesn't have all these things that people think it has, it's not even really up to DLive. It's up to Lino to get this done. And I mean, it is up to DLive to maybe switch blockchains, but you know, they've already done this before. And the last time they did it very poorly. And there was a lot of people that were upset and like confused. And yeah, it almost seemed like they got exit scammed back on Steam. And I wouldn't be surprised if the same issue happens here when in another year, the Lino testnet still hasn't really launched. The mainnet, I guess, hasn't really launched. And we're not utilizing any blockchain technology whatsoever, but they're claiming that it should be. If you go through all of their terms, all of their policies, every single thing that they have, I couldn't find the word blockchain anywhere aside from like the title of their PDF that says Lino blockchain overview. It was just the title that said blockchain. There's no other places that say blockchain aside from some of the stuff here. This is the only place where you're going to find the word blockchain, because they're talking about, well, how it's not working and how it's not launched and how it's not being used. And they say here that Lino blockchain is a native protocol. You know, they'll have new Lino points being minted, but they're not even publicly tradable. Oh, so you can arbitrarily inflate the price. You could change the price just as you need to. I would never invest in this. You would only make videos and take out money. Putting in money is one of the most foolish things you could do with this platform. They haven't done an ICO. They don't plan to. Everything is private. You can't trade it. You can't buy it. super centralized, super like not transparent. People don't know what's going on with their platform. Let's take a look at their blockchain overview. This is their something like 5-page blockchain overview. So this is their version of a white paper, but it doesn't talk much about the actual technology, just what they want to, just some of the concepts that they want to have in place for the technology and the actual like the platforms that use it. And I talked about this earlier, the decentralized ownership aspect. This is not in play whatsoever for DLive, but this is one of the top 3. There's only 3 components that they really list that makes this platform so great, and the third one isn't implemented at all on their third-party applications. So how can you say this is a foundational component when the sub component, like the sub platforms and the applications, aren't using it and they're completely going around it? It's like how can you have all these Apple apps on Windows that don't work with Windows, but they're on a Windows only platform or whatever it might be? It doesn't make sense. And I doubt, well, I mean, they should be able to uphold that, or it should just be built in inherently that this would be the case, but it's not, because again, it's not even launched. And yes, they do talk about their testnet. I guess I sort of glossed over that and how they're supposedly using the testnet for years now, but it's no different than Twitch, other than they've mimicked a proof of stake model into their Lino wallet and stuff, right? So they talk about here, yes, we have all these different, distributions, and we have such a great model for our content creators, and look at how great we're doing. But a lot of this stuff doesn't actually talk about what the blockchain is going to do. It's just talking about how they will. I mean, here they actually do mention blockchain, which is great, because they talk about how they'll validate it and do all these different things. Yeah, but again, it's still not launched, and this isn't a white paper, The governance system is proposal based. Yeah, this one is really weird too. Every time I go into Lino, they ask you, do you want to see decentralized or centralized storage, or do you not care? And you vote for that. But they infinitely ask you. So I've made like 10 to 15 votes. And at this point, I'm just kind of like alternating through all of them. So it's like, how is that real voting when you have one person voting up to hundreds of times? Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think this is a huge flop. It is, yes, okay, maybe they mentioned blockchain a little bit more than I thought they did, but they're not using it. I don't think they really plan to. They're not going to trade this. The scariest part is that this won't be traded publicly. They're going to be creating more, so it will inflate. And I mean, if you invested today, and that is the case, and it inflates, you're just going to lose money. That's the only thing that can happen, unless they arbitrarily change the value. And what that means is, if they keep the value the same, but they keep minting more, then they're just able to just like scam you, basically. They're going to take your money, and there's no real value if they're inflating it and the price stays the same. And again, there's no public traded Lino. They're going to control everything. You'll have no idea. You could buy it today, and next week it could be worth half. And it's not because of the market. It's not because of Bitcoin. It's just because they decided so. It's the most centralized model I've ever seen. It is slightly better than Twitch, but this is by no means a blockchain platform. I've wrote a little bit about this as well. I'll include this in a sort of blog format. Like they've got their GitHub up. You can view that. They are doing pretty well in terms of their ranking on Alexa. They're like 6,000 something of the top website rankings. And yeah, like their GitHub, you know, they share all the stuff that they're working on. Their last commit was like over a month ago. So it actually seems like they're slowing down a little bit right now, but they had been updating it every like week or two previously. But again, they I won't be surprised at all if they end up switching to a new blockchain. And that could be for the best, but the fact that they keep doing this is really, really worrisome, because if they exit this and people can't get their money back from Lino, then why would they ever trust the next blockchain that they subscribe to? You know, maybe they'll come out with just their own DLive blockchain. We'll see. We'll see. Even though with all these criticisms, I've still listed this in the top 10 blockchain platforms because it could launch and it could be better. However, if they stay with Lino and they control the value, again, like I was saying just not that long ago, if they control the value entirely and it's so centralized, there's no trust there. There's no reliability. It's not going to be worth the risk because you rely completely on them. You're at their mercy. The only reason that this would be good is for people who want to build themselves up and, you know, they can't do it on Twitch. This might be the way to go. But investing in this is a very dangerous game. I think it's great for, you know, you're just getting Lino points. Go ahead, sell them, get your money. That's awesome. But don't rely on this platform. It's just really unfortunate that this is not at all what people thought it was. And we have people like PewDiePie misinformed and telling everyone that this is like such a great solution. It's a better solution than Twitch. Yes. Is it a blockchain platform? No. Will it be a blockchain platform? It could, but it'll be very centralized and very unreliable. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scott C Business, and I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Are you using DLive? Did you know about any of this already? What are your thoughts? Did I mess anything up? Let everyone know in the comments below. Cheers.